Yo, what's up, gamers? Welcome back to Af-Rui-Ka, and today we are building for the Amur Leopards in this highly detailed, super dynamic, exquisite habitat. But anyways, that's enough of complimenting myself. Let's get right into the speed build. So, admittedly, this habitat is not like 100% complete. Mostly, I mean, everything like in the interior. It's all like the exterior that I haven't quite finished. So Netflix's One Piece just came out and it's incredible, and so I've been stuck on One Piece. So because I mean I've been watching One Piece for years now, but I watched the One Piece on Netflix, and for the first time ever they made a actually good live action anime adaptation. So yeah, I've been all into One Piece, but I found time to build for Planet Zoo to finish off the Hunters of the Savannah. I don't know exactly what I'm calling it. Whatever, the Predator section. Over here, we're finishing off with the Amur leopard, which is not an African animal, as I'm sure everyone is aware. But there are no African leopards in the game. I didn't want to use the mod for it because most leopards in zoos are Amur leopards. I'm sure a lot of people already know why, but for the people who don't, Amur leopards are extremely endangered, like on the brink of becoming extinct in the wild. So most zoos are encouraged to keep Amur leopards instead of any other kind of leopard as part of like breeding programs to ensure that even if, worst comes to worst, the Amur leopards go extinct in the wild, we'll still have a captive breeding population to let the subspecies live on. And most of the time in zoos, these Amur leopards are either usually displayed as like African animals. They're put in the African sections, or maybe like the Southeast Asian sections, possibly. But I feel like this is kind of a missed opportunity on the part of zoos, because it's like they could be educating people about the different types of leopards. I know growing up, and I'm sure a lot of people just think of leopards as being African animals. That's all I really knew them as when I was a kid. I had no idea that leopards range from Africa into the Middle East and India and Southeast Asia and up through China all the way up to Russia, and they live in pretty much all types of environments and climates, and they're adapted to all these different sort of situations all across the most of the old world. But that's probably just not something that the general public is even aware of. So if they, just said, hey, these are Russian leopards that we have in our zoo, then people will be like, what? They have leopards in Russia? Like, what the heck? And they don't even know about it. So I feel like it's like a missed opportunity that zoos could be implementing, and it's not like I'm doing anything to help educate here, because I am also putting Amur leopards into my African zoo. But it's whatever. I wanted to have leopards. I didn't want to use the African leopard mod because I don't want people to load into the zoo and there be empty habitats if you're not a person that uses mods. Whenever I upload this to the workshop, whenever it's done, who knows when that's going to happen? I certainly don't. We have a new DLC on the horizon. Who knows what that's going to be? If it adds more African leopards, then not African leopards. I meant to say, if it adds more African animals, then I'm kind of screwed. In some ways. I feel like having more African animals, it would be like, oh, I could build for these, and maybe that would get my videos a little more traction if it's a new DLC animal as opposed to me building for all these old animals that have been in the game for a while. But yeah, so I've been talking about a lot of other stuff and not talking about the habitat. So I was trying to figure out what to do with this habitat, and eventually I kind of came up with this idea of like there's like 3 different like islands, I guess, and that are all connected. They can cross by like logs. They can climb across. You're so young. Even though they don't, they usually just jump across, and it's really annoying because it's like I gave you like stuff to climb on so you could just walk across, but they're like, nah, we just go and jump. And of course the jumping animation looks a little wonky. But yeah, so there's like the 3 islands, and then there's like a river going around the back, and there's like a little waterfall here. You can see there's something weird going on with the water there. I just used free build to put a glass barrier there and then delete the barrier, because that's the thing that you can do with free build. So there is no glass barrier there, so that's nice. And then in the middle of the islands, it's more like a dry stream bed, not steam bed, stream bed, and it's all just like rocky and stuff. I don't know, interesting idea that I came up with for this habitat. I feel like highly impractical, not realistic whatsoever, but as I've mentioned before, realism is being thrown to the wind in this zoo. Don't particularly care for it or use it in any way. Yeah, here are these logs that they never use. Another thing I had to do with this habitat is I made it like too big initially, and it was like too far back. And then when I stuck the leopards in, I was like, oh wait, these guys are actually like really small and they're far away, and you can't really see them very well because of how far they are. Turns out these leopards are like less than 100 pounds. So I have dogs at my shelter that are bigger than these leopards, which you wouldn't really think, because you think of, oh, leopards, they're big cats, so they must be big, right? Not really. They're not very big. Turns out the big cat label doesn't really apply to size necessarily, because cougars are not part of the big cat family, even though they're pretty good sized cats. They're not part of the Panthera group, like leopards and jaguars and tigers, lions, and snow leopards. I think that's the whole group. I might be tripping. There might be something else. I'm not sure. I feel like clouded leopards are more closely related to the rest of the big cats, if I'm remembering correctly. I might be spouting just absolute nonsense right now, but what else is new? You know, that's what I do most of the time. But anyway, I'm already getting excited for whatever the new DLC is gonna have in store. You know, a lot of people are hoping for birds, fish, whatever. I feel like it's not super likely, to be honest. Not yet anyway. Maybe in the future. I'm still keeping my fingers crossed. Some people have given up. I still have hope for that. A lot of people are also saying that like this is like the end of Planet Zoo receiving updates and DLCs, which I feel like that would be kind of crazy, because I'm pretty sure Planet Zoo is Frontier's like most successful, most popular, highest earning game that they have. So I feel like it would be kind of dumb for them to just like stop working on it, because I mean, I guess, you know, the game isn't at its peak right now. It's less popular than it's been in a little bit, which they could definitely fix if they threw in birds and fish and stuff. That would make a big difference for that. A lot of people who have put down, the game would definitely come back. But I don't see myself ever putting down this game because I love it too much. And like until maybe if they make a Planet Zoo 2, whenever that happens. But anyways, we're here in the cinematics already. If you enjoyed this video, if you liked this habitat that is on display now, feel free to leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and that's all for now. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.